Connecting Finale to Mainstage 3 is a 6-step process. First, you create IAC Devices in the Mac system. You save banks in Finale. You set up your IAC Input and Output in Finale. You set up your IAC Input in Mainstage 3. You add instruments in Mainstage 3. The instruments will correspond to your Finale banks. And the 6-step route audio in Mainstage 3. First, you create your IAC devices in the Mac system. Open Audio MIDI Setup Utility, open the MIDI window, and double-click on the IAC icon. At first, it'll be grayed out if you haven't used it previously. Add IAC devices and check devices online. After you check this, it's going to show up red in the MIDI window. You can double-click the device names to edit them. Notice we've put in names that would correspond to their names in Finale. Step 2, save your banks in Finale. You can save your multis in any player. The ARIA player is no exception in Finale. Open MIDI Audio, Audio Units, Banks, and Effects, and click the pencil icon next to the player. The player window opens up, and you can save your ARIA bank to the default location. There's a little drop-down arrow under Ensemble, which opens this drop-down. You just save. Later on, when you load your instrument in Mainstage 3, you're going to use Load and go back, and it'll automatically populate Mainstage 3 with the same instrument configuration that you had saved in Finale. Step 3, set up IAC in and out in Finale. First, you want to set Finale to play through MIDI if it isn't already. That's in the MIDI Audio menu, and select Play Finale through MIDI. The next step, you want to set your IAC in. The way to do that is you go to the MIDI Audio menu and select Mini Internal Speaker Setup, and this window opens. You're going to change playback to MIDI system, and you have a series of drop-downs available. Once you click the drop-down, you'll see a list of your IAC devices and some other things. Select the ones that you created in step 1. Then go to the Score Manager in Finale, and you're going to assign your IAC devices as playback devices in the Score Manager. Notice the channel assignments. These are going to correspond to the channel assignments that are used by the player when you open it in Mainstage. Step 4, you set up IAC Input in Mainstage 3. Mainstage is basically a sample module player controlled by a keyboard. You can also plug audio into it and route effects and that kind of stuff, but it views any incoming MIDI as coming from a keyboard. So it thinks of Finale as a keyboard, and it thinks of each of the modules in Finale as its own distinct keyboard. So using the layout mode in Mainstage 3, you can drag enough keyboards up to this window or modify the ones that you already have. And you're going to be changing the MIDI port for each selected keyboard to correspond to the instrument that you want to bring in MIDI for. And you'll need to create one of these for instruments in Mainstage as well. That is, instruments you intend to use that are part of Mainstage's default libraries as well. Next, add a channel strip for each bank that you want to add, or edit an existing channel strip if they're already in your concert file. If there's one already in there, then you change the input assignment here in the MIDI tab. If one isn't there, then you're going to see this dialog come up. Create a channel strip for the bank. This is the default dialog. It's not open. Click the details and it'll open up this drop down. Behind here is a button that says Input. You click the Input button and you get a pop-up and you can choose your device there. Next, you add the instrument player for the bank that you want to assign that goes into the input field in the channel strip. So you click on it, click in the center of it, and it'll open up this drop down and you can go through and select. When you're loading multis, you're going to want to always load multi-output 16x. After you've done that, you've got an in for audio 1 and 2. but you need to now route audio for all of the other instruments in the player. The way to do that is create so-called alias strips by clicking this plus sign. You will only see the plus sign in a channel strip that is hosting a multi-instrument player. It recognizes that there's available outs. So you keep clicking this. If you have 16 additional instruments, then you would click this 15 times for each additional instrument. Then you can double-click the name field and rename the instruments so you know what's what. You'll see as you create these, they increment upwards with the inputs. These are stereo pairs that are coming out of this player. 16 stereo pairs coming out of a multiplayer. So the next thing that we have to do is make sure that the instruments in the player are targeting the right channel strip. So we open up the player again, and you'll see in the case of the ARIA player, it's a little hard to see. They're kind of grayed out. These are the instrument channels. You can see them incrementing upwards. And these here are the audio out assignments. This is a bigger view of it. If you double click one and drop down comes up, you can select the next one in series. And that's it. That's the whole configuration. When you press play in Finale, you can hear all your instruments, and you'll have the ability to edit effects sends, and you'll have granular control over each instrument in your mix that you don't have in Finale. If you want to record the Finale's output at this point, then you have to route the audio using an app like Soundflower. You set the outs on Mainstage into Soundflower, and then open an app like Audacity, the free audio app, and set its ins to Soundflower, and then you can just record. You can't bounce to disk, but you can record in real time. But you'll get all the details of your mix.